What's good? Hey, my lovelies. Come on in, come on in, come on in. What's good, super platonic? Hey, everybody. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Well, I should say Aquarius full moon in Leo. Okay, I'm going to do a collective. I'm not going to do the elements. I did the elements yesterday. If you're interested in the elements, you can go on YouTube. Good morning. And you can see them there. MJ, good morning. Good morning, Candy. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull some energy, okay? And I was up pretty early this morning, so I don't know. Like, it was very strong energy, okay? Very strong energy. And I feel like we're going to do a little check-in. We're going to see what's going on, all right? I heard, full moon. Thank you, my love. You saw me standing alone. Without a love of my heart, without a love of my own, right? So I heard that. Now, it's also a super moon, okay? It's also a super moon, means that it's super close and the energy is really strong. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you so much. Okay. So there's that, right? We got a lot of retrogrades. Y'all are aware of all that, right? So this is a really strong energy. We're completing a cycle because we just switched north nodes and beginning a new one. So all of this is happening under this super moon. And in addition to that, something that happens about every 2.5 years is we get a cycle that has a blue moon. Now, what is a blue moon? A blue moon is when you get 2 full moons within 1 month. Okay, so we're going to have a full moon today, and then we're going to have another full moon. I think it's the 30th of August, okay? So it's happening within the month. Okay, so the second one will be considered the blue moon. Okay, this is the super moon and that's the blue moon. Okay, so heightened frequency, guys. Okay, so I'm going to see what's going on in the general spirit. Can you show me what's happening for the collective? Okay. Show me. Okay, you got symbiosis, okay, trine sextile, all right? You also have 6th house sustainability. And then Aries act, okay? So Aries is where the north node has moved to now, right? So, thank you so much, MJ. What's happening is, we spent a good amount of time trying to figure out what it was that was important to us or still important to us, because there was a lot of peeling away. And now we're more interested in what vibes on the same frequency, not so much trying to fit into other frequencies, if that makes sense. But and I was just explaining this to somebody close to me today, actually. That, the first part of this cycle, we were learning how to do it outward. And what I mean by that is like maybe at work, with random people that you encountered, you were learning how to regulate, right? And then COVID came, right? A lot of people got awakened around that time. And we went into this cocoon thing and we really started digging deep into what it was that wasn't resonating, right? As we came out of that, we were putting into practice new systems of our self-worth, okay? Now that the North Node is moving into Aries, which is the house of I am, how do we sustain that? As this comes closer into our inner circle. So what am I saying? If it started at work and in random interactions, then maybe the next layer was acquaintances, and then the next layer is friends, and then the next layer is like your inner family, or the friends that you consider family, right? So you were learning in this whole period what resonates with you, how to effectively respond to these triggers, how when you're triggered, how you should try to do the shadow work of it. And we're learning how to do that as a habit, right? Reflexive, right? So spirit is asking you basically, so now that it's in the inner circle, now that it's getting closer to you and it's your family, it's the people, how will you respond to that? Can you still hold it? Good morning. Can you still hold that same level of frequency or that same level of self-love as it becomes closer? Because it was easier with these topical relationships, right? And some of the relationships, like in certain instances, the easiest way was to peel away these situations. But as it comes closer, they're going to be situations you can't peel away. In other words, let's say it's a child, right? How will you maintain your frequency? It's a collective, yes, for the full moon today. How will you maintain your frequency when it comes within, right? When it's the people that you love and the people that love you. How do you traverse those situations and yet still keep the progress you've made for your self-growth? I feel like that's the season that we're in, okay? I'm not going to be doing personal questions today, okay? This is a collective, but if you listen, you will hear what you need to know. Okay, so this is about figuring out how to deal with those more intimate relationships and keep the balance that you've worked on so long, okay? Look, Aquarius, collaborate. And this is the Aquarius full moon. Now, what does Aquarius rule? Let's talk about that for a minute. So that, because, it says on the bottom, transits, right? Aquarius rules communities. Aquarius rules networking. Aquarius rules the internet. Okay, Aquarius rules high vibing for humanity, like, doing the right thing, right? I'm not doing the elements today. Okay? So this is going to be about how you show up in communities in your new posture, in your new self, with your new boundaries and your new understanding. What I need from you is understanding. Thank you, right? So how do you do that? A lot of yous were the ones that went through the first awakening. And if you guys were here yesterday, I was talking about it was coming in layers, and there's new waves of people who are being awakening, right? Going through the awakening. So if you went through the awakening back, in 2020, right? That means that people around you are going to be looking at you for, some sense of guidance, whether you're recognizing that or not. Okay? Because Aquarius has leader tendencies. Okay, first off, it's the highest point in the chart. Okay, 11th house, networking. So a lot of people that we're coming into contact is for the next leg, right? But the skills that you learned up until this point is supposed to give you some type of discernment about what relationships to tend to, what relationships you need to protect your energy from. Okay? And with this transits at the bottom of the deck, we got a lot of retrogrades in play right now. right? Under that first house arrival and fifth house passion. Fifth house is Leo. We are in Leo season right now. Okay, so I feel like old circles could be trying to second time around replay. These are choices now. Some of the realizations that you had, are you going to move differently in those spaces? Or are you going to, they're going to resurface, right? So when they resurface, are you reflexively going to respond in the same frequency you were before, the one that you fought to get out of? Or have you, transmuted the knowledge to be able to respond differently? Okay? It feels very much like a tipping point about timelines and what timeline you're choosing. Okay, let's see if Spirit wants anything else out of this deck. All right, you got Mars motion, right? And, Mars, I believe, is going into Virgo or has already transited in Virgo, which makes the Mars energy a little passive aggressive. This means that people aren't going to come at you directly head on. Okay? It may feel that way energetically. Thank you, honey, for joining. It may feel like that energetically, but it's only because of the intensity of the Mars frequency. We're still in fire season. So I feel like you can feel through the fire. You can feel people's intentions very highlighted right now. Right? Are you going to stand on your 10? All right? Will you, revert back to easier responses, but that maybe don't align with the new parts of yourself? Okay, you got third house communication. We are preparing for a Mercury retrograde. I feel like some of the communication that could be happening with this Mars in motion and third house communication, this feels like it could be about you, not to you. Okay, midheaven pinnacle, okay? And I feel like, remember I said we're at a tipping point. So how you respond right now is going to determine how far you can reach. What do I mean by that? Think of it as, hey, Pooh, think of it as you're jumping forward, right? There's a springboard, right? Let's think of yourself as a diver, right? Let's say that you dive well off the 6-foot board, but every time you go up higher, you belly flop, right? So you still make the flip, but it's painful when you go in the water, right? Now you've learned a better technique, right? But when you get on that, let's say it's the 18-foot board, you get on the 18-foot board and you start to hear the clock, right? And you feel rushed or you feel a response that you weren't prepared for. And now all of a sudden you're going to jump. Are you going to jump in the pattern in which you used to, where you're going to hit the water and you're going to belly flop? Okay, you'll still make the flip, but it's going to be painful upon impact. Or will you, apply the new knowledge, envision what you're about to do, and then take the leap so that you can have that smooth entrance Okay? It feels like there's a moment there. Thank you guys for the love. There's a moment there of what do you rely on, the old habit or the new knowledge, if that makes sense. Okay, Spirit, last shuffle from this deck. Do you rely on the old habit or the new wisdom? Cancer, immerse, right? You know, it was talking about jumping and the water, right? Immersion, Cancer, water, this water, emotion. It feels like it could be very easy to be triggered and do the same thing again. The challenge is to lean in to like the faith that you'll be protected or that you'll be surrounded by that self-love. Is it strong enough now to support you, to keep you afloat? Regardless of what's happening outside. I feel that, okay? Pluto, rebirth, all right? You're really trying. Think of it as, they're showing me so many images of water, like a water birth, right? Capricorn, achieve. So it's like, it feels, guys, like you're like, you know, the feminines in the chat will understand, but it feels like those pushes, right? The and you bear down and the doctor's telling you, you know, just like 3 or 4 more pushes and you're bearing down, right? You're about to give birth to this new system and it's gonna stick. But there's this moment where you almost get tricked into reverting, so be careful. Okay, Spirit. Show me what else you want to tell the collective, please. This also may be that people are expecting you to respond in old ways. Okay? Spirit, can you show me? The Fool. See, there is a new beginning. What's coming in? 6 of Swords, going to calmer waters. What's falling away? Ace of Pentacles with the 2 of Wands. What is it that they can't see? Thank you. What is the truth of the matter? Thank you. And what is the most likely outcome, please? Six of Wands, it's at the bottom of the deck. Now, the 6 of Wands does mean victory. But it also means attention. I feel like right now you're on the precipice of that victory. And it feels like there's more attention than normal, or than the frequency might feel new. It feels heightened. Okay, you may feel like, you know, you have to be cautious because there's so much attention. Thank you guys for all the love. Because there's so much attention, you may feel like anything, you know, will be noticed, any error. Good morning, hun. Okay? So even though, like, this may be like, maybe nobody's saying they're watching or whatever, but you feel this, right? And this can be both negative and positive, okay? So like, let's say at work, you know, you could be feeling intensity and feeling like you're being watched, but you could be being watched to get a promotion, right? And just like I said, there's a moment, right, where you can react reflexively, or you can apply new knowledge, right? So this could be in any arena. And there's a moment there that's going to decide how far the jumping board leaves you. It can leave you 6 feet or 18 feet, depending on how. So for a private reading with me, you have to book on my website. And if you are looking for like questions to be answered on a live, that's done on Saturday mornings for my subscribers only. Okay? But it feels like this has to do with how successful this is, okay? So let's look at this Fool card. I am doing a collective right now, my love. The Fool with the Ten of Wands, right? So it's a crossroads, guys. The Fool with the Ten of Wands is a crossroads. There's two ways to go. And, you know, there's always two ways to go, right? You could go the long way, the short way, right? You could go the road less traveled, the way everybody goes. There's many ways to look at the choice of that. I feel like what Spirit is saying is that either way, you're headed towards this new beginning, but you need to determine whether you're going to take some of the baggage with you where you'll still have to work on those parts along the journey. Or if you're going to be willing to put the bags down, learn the lesson, and, you know, jump into this new beginning and land further out. But if you respond to something in some type of reflexive response, it's going to take you longer. It means that part of the journey will be repeated. Okay? You have the Six of Swords coming out and what's coming towards you with the King of Swords. This is you using the discernment, the knowledge, and the wisdom, okay? Taking out emotion and using the fact and the knowledge. With the High Priestess, okay? Your intuition, okay? They're telling you to stay detached and look at it from a factual standpoint if you want to get further. If you want to put this Ten of Wands down, you're going to have to look at this situation from a more logical standpoint and not from an emotional standpoint. Okay, Six of Swords, Spirit, why? The Fool came out again with the Nine of Pentacles crossed and the Justice card. Okay. So now let's look at this. Here goes the Fool. This is the Six of Swords. Spirit saying, listen, the easy way is right here. Okay, but you feel with the Nine of Pentacles that you don't have enough to do the easy way. Right? Is this a habit that you have of thinking that everything has to be difficult? You may also feel like, well, I'm not financially stable to do that. But Spirit's like saying something to the effect of start where you are. If you're always waiting to have enough, it'll never happen. Start where you are. Okay? With the Justice card, that's how you build the justice that you want. If you come from a mindset that you need to have as much as everyone else or something to that effect, then you're always going to be waiting for when's the right time. Spirit's like, the right time is now. You don't have to take the burdens with you. Okay? You can employ the knowledge and the wisdom that you've learned and then move forward with it, even if it's in small increments. Don't think that everything has to be perfect. right? Using the same analogy I was saying about jumping off the diving board and in the last second worrying about if you'll do it right or you're going to belly flop, that questioning causes for mistake, right? Now what's going to fall away is the Ace of Pentacles with the Two of Wands. Spirit, why is this Ace of Pentacles here as to what's falling away? The Queen of Wands. Okay? You also have the Two of Wands in that position. I want to see what they mean. Let me see. Okay. This is how you're appearing. And with the Two of Wands here crossed and the Five of Pentacles, it's like you don't see how much outwardly you've changed, okay? Two of Wands, it's like you haven't decided that you're not in lack anymore, okay? So in other words, you could have grown up with a lack mentality. Maybe you were brought up in a poor family. There's many ways to have lack, okay? It could be even in relationships, right? So now that you've changed this frequency and that you're showing up as the Queen of Wands, as magnetic, with the Seed, okay? Six of Swords, two Fool cards, ready for a whole new beginning. If you can't see that, and you still feel like, but I need something else to be able to achieve it. It's the lack mentality or imposter syndrome that is pausing or causing you to pause on that board and feel like you're underprepared, when in reality, you've been ready. That's about self-belief, right? So even if you're learning the self-love part, what if now you have to have, self-faith, right? Hey, honey, this is what it's feeling like to me. Like you've learned how to love yourself, but now you need to learn how to believe. Do you believe? Right? Now you have the Six of Cups coming out in the Knight of Wands in the position of what you can't see. Two things. There's a lot of people who were comfortable with the way things were. Okay, I feel like that vibration that you were on before allowed for a lot of people to benefit from you. Right? And it's not that they can't benefit from you now, but because you have changed some inner things about yourself. Okay? It feels to this person like they don't have necessarily access at will. Maybe you're busier now. Maybe you've put up some boundaries. Maybe you have more than one thing going on in this reinvention. And it feels like there are people who were more comfortable before. They may feel like you rebuilding something or learning something for yourself is somehow making you the Knight of Wands, like flaky. Okay, I am doing right now a collective for everybody, okay? I feel like the reason why they're getting a flaky energy of you is because they would have to learn the new parts of you. They're not really interested in that. They're more interested in how they can continue to benefit. Yeah, it's not convenient. You understand? And who knows? It could be convenient if they would actually take the time to learn the new parts, but they're not interested. They're just resenting they don't have the access to the old parts, right? 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 King of Pentacles, right? But you're trying to build a stability for yourself. Eight of Pentacles. You could be working hard at this right now. Okay, with the Ace of Swords, trying to move and live in your own truth, right? Walk in your own skin, right? Page of Cups. You may have said to people like, you know, no shade or nothing, but I don't have as much to pour in because I'm trying to pour into something for me. Right? Eight of Wands. I feel like you may have communicated this in some form or fashion. With the Hermit, okay, I feel like you have been like pulled away in spiritual commune, it feels like, with spirit, like really working on your vibration, the star, your path, right? The Chariot, moving forward, right? And I feel like you feel the momentum. You feel the momentum of things aligning. But the Four of Cups, you also feel the momentum of like the people who you thought would cheer for you are like detached. Right? Knight of Swords. You may have even argued with some of these people. Now you have the Devil here in the truth of the matter. Spirit, why is this Devil here in the truth of the matter? With an argument. And the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so it feels different, right? So here's the Devil. The Devil talks about codependency, binding, fears, control. Okay? So I feel like this has triggered some fears. Okay, you see all these people in here. There's not just this is not just one relationship, but they may be, you know, it may be showing up in each relationship slightly differently. Okay? If you see here, if you look closely, there's somebody here drinking too much. Okay, there's also, where is it? Because I'm looking at the card backwards. Feels like this person right here is fighting against the crowd, right? There's a lot going on here. Right? Okay, this Devil smoking a cigarette, right? There's habits. Right? And the Knight of Swords and somebody not wanting to break old habits or break old tendencies, codependencies, bindings. Make it like it was, right? And then you have here the Knight of Pentacles. But what's not being seen, okay, and this is in the position of the truth of the matter, is you were always headed towards this. Although it might have taken you a long fucking time. Yeah, they're behind. You were always headed towards this awakening. And I'm sure if you look back, you're going to see that there were signs all along the journey. Right? Now, you might have been wondering on the journey, why were you hitting so many Grand Rising, my love, so many blockages, right? Remember this in the beginning, the first card was the Fool card with the Ten of Wands, right? Because you were walking with the Devil, right? And I'm not labeling a particular person, okay? What I'm trying to say to you is you were trying to change the situation and walk into the ascension without having to let go of the toxicity because you were used to it. It was reflexive. Do you understand? We are doing a full moon reading. So if it was your habit, let's say for you, it's a sibling, right? Just going to use this as example, right? Your whole entire life, your sibling was your sibling. Hey, Athea, right? So in other words, you wouldn't necessarily know another existence. So when I said to you that the relationships that were outward, that weren't important, yeah, it was easy for you to learn how to peel away those relationships. It was easy to learn how to protect yourself, how to set up the boundaries, because you don't give a fuck about those people. That's why Spirit had you start with those people, right? But as it ripples in, it gets more and more serious, right? You were always headed towards the ascension. But there were a few things. Remember, I showed you the picture. There were many, right? At least 10. There goes the 10 wands, right? Could have been habits, people, whatever, right? That you've been carrying with you, that you're so used to reflexively carrying that you didn't even recognize that they weren't yours. Okay? And now that you have started to put those 10 of wands down, and you had the Fool with the 6 of swords, everybody, even if you can't really fully feel it yet, it's like what he says, can you smell what the rock is cooking? Right? Everybody can feel there's a new version. There's not the same access. They don't have the ability to pull on your frequency anymore. It's not there for the taking at will. 9 of Swords, anxiety. And what happens to you? You feel, although I said they may not have said something directly to you, with this Mars that came out here and the communication, yeah, some of your family's starting to see it, right? So with the Mars and the third house communication, and I told you Mars is in Virgo, okay, being very passive aggressive, right? And this is being communicated. So is the ethers, right? Communicating. You feel their anxiety. And it's a supermoon, like I said. And so maybe you can't sleep. Maybe you feel the energy heightened, right? Why? Because you've been practicing learning this discernment, how to apply it for probably like 2 years, maybe more now, right? And it's coming in closer. So you're picking up the energy quicker. But now that it's somebody that's more important, how you gonna handle it? This is what Spirit is saying. Okay, I feel that because it's in the inner circle now, this is a completion time. Okay, it's completion time, although you might not see it. Now you have the 2 of Cups here as the most likely outcome. Spirit, why? Okay, this looks good. I got scared for a minute. I ain't gonna lie. I saw the 2 of Cups here, right? So this is, coming into alignment, right? Strength, right? You see the line up here, right? 2 of Cups, right? Then you have here the Page of Wands in reverse. This is what made me panic. I said the Page of Wands in reverse, sorry. So with the 2 of Cups here, there's a decision here. Like you could say, I do love this person, but they're not capable of changing. They're not well thought out responses. Okay, or their reactions, because the Page of Wands in upright is passionate, but it's often not well thought out, right? Being in the reverse, feel like you're recognizing which relationships don't have the ability to change and which ones do. I also feel like because it's in the inner circle, what you're learning is like you can't burn every relationship down, right? When I said it could be a kid, it could be a parent, right? So you may be learning how to keep it somewhat to arm's length where you can still have that connection, but yet not be porous to it, where it necessarily penetrate to the point where it changes your vibration. Hey, my love, okay? So I feel like there's a lot about you recognizing who can be near you, who you can allow to have access to you, and who you need to be a little more guarded from, no matter who it is. Thank you guys for liking. Okay, so you also have out here what came out with this page of wands in reverse is you recognizing, hey, not everybody's gonna change. And I have to figure out how I'm gonna, navigate that. Okay, because your victory is here. 6 of Wands came out again. That's 2 6 of Wands. You have a couple of doubles here. You have double Fool, double 6 of Wands. Right? What else here? Double 6 of Wands, right? So the victory is coming in. And remember I said to you, you're definitely going that way. You were always going that way. And the victory will be yours. But remember when I said to you before, there's a thing about how long it takes you. Do you put all of the 10 wands down immediately and take the leap of faith? Or do you try to come with some of them? Remember, the devil was here. What did I say? You've been walking with the devil because it was part of the normal surrounding. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it was always there in your existence, how would you recognize that it was the devil? Right? So here's the King of Cups. I can't stand the rain. It's my window. Right? So, how are you going to handle? So there's some relationships that you're going to have to recognize that they can't change, right? And that's for you to accept that they can't change, and what you can do to be able to either cut that off, or if you can't cut it off, how you'll navigate that. But then the flip side of that is this King of Cups. Remember I said the Mars and the passive aggressive energy. What about those people? Cord cutting. You got that shit right. What about those people who you're willing to maybe you feel that it's not a relationship you can necessarily discard, but you have to treat it differently? And they decide that they don't like the new terms and conditions. That's the perfect way to put it, right? So you say, I can't show up in this fashion anymore. These are the things I can, and these are the things I cannot do. And some people are going to accept that, and then some others are going to resent it. King of Cups. Right? And they may decide, no, I'm going to withhold King Cups, or withhold emotion. Could be a father, right? Are you going to need, okay, let's say you're the King of Cups. Are you going to need that emotional acceptance to feel like you won? Because what if they don't ever give you that? What if they don't ever give you that? One of the things, one of the therapists that I had always used to say was, you have to be willing to give yourself apologies you didn't receive. Right? So if you don't receive something, whether it's an apology, whether it's an approval, whether it's an acknowledgement, or do you allow that to take the shine off of your accomplishment? Does it feel heavier, the new beginning? Are you allowing, okay, because that would go back to this devil and giving into the binding, right? Just because they don't see it doesn't mean exactly, okay? Now you have the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and I'm about to, depends on the day. Well, you can't allow it to be depend on the day, babe. Can't allow it to be that, all right? Because then depending on the day, you're undoing some of the work that you worked so hard for, right? Six of Wands is coming out with the Seven of Wands, exactly like what the fuck I was just saying, right? So the Six of Wands is the victory, okay? To much is given, much is required, right? So the Seven of Wands means you have to protect yourself, and there could be people who feel, you know, they could feel defensive to your new change, right? But this also means that you're above the competition, okay? Above the competition. All right? So, you know, don't let somebody else determine the level of your joy or the level of your accomplishment, because what comes out to that is the Nine of Cups. So you will let them dim your light. You will let them dim the wish fulfillment if you winning means that this person's going to be salty. They might have to be salty for a little while. And you might have to, you know, allow them to have whatever emotion that they have. It's really not your business what somebody else feels about you, unless you're willing to trade places with them and put that energy on like a coat and make it your own. Okay? So you can make it your business that it's more important what this person thinks of you than what you think of you. Okay? But when you put what they think of you more important than what you think of you, you're elevating them, because energetically, whether they know it or not, they feel empowered. They feel that the energy got to go somewhere. So you're feeding that rather than feeding your manifestation where you're trying to go. Okay? Because somebody, and I said it to you before, they were seeing you as the Knight of Wands, like you're flaky because you have new parts of yourself that they don't necessarily, they don't know and they don't want to take the time to learn, right? But let's just say that you are this Knight of Wands where right now you're passionate about trying new things and growing into the new levels of you. It looks like with this King of Wands, you get there pretty fast. You're taking action. Okay? And wow. And under that is the Emperor. Okay? With the King of Swords. So you're using your fact and knowledge and taking action on that and bossing the fuck up with the Ace of Cups here. Okay? But it means you got to slay the devil. Got to slay those fears, worrying about what people think about you, how they're going to feel. Right? Will they accept you? Right? Listen, unless you're a twin, and even then, you didn't come out exactly at the same time. You were born alone, babe. Born alone. This journey's for you. Do you experience and learn things through people and learn about love? And are they here to help you learn the lessons? But in the end, it's about you. Thank you so much for the gifts. Okay, Spirit is really saying, don't forget that right now. Okay, Two of Swords. Okay, like don't close your eyes to like, don't minimize, you know, how much work you've put into yourself to let somebody's opinion, and I'm going to pull from another deck for you guys right now, but to let somebody else's opinion shape how you see your progress. Because if you do that, you might actually miss the win. Okay, because it feels like 2 6 of Wands. So the win is there no matter what, but the level of which you get to enjoy it, the level of which you get to feel it, is going to be dependent on whether what you believe is more important or what they believe. Right? Because I don't know about you, but I am so tired of trying to prove my motives, intentions, or whatever, right? I feel like, and this is something that, listen, you know, I'm probably older than a lot of yous in here. Don't spend your time trying to get people to understand or prove to them how you love or if you love. Because if they loved you, they would take the time to know who you are, and you wouldn't have to prove it. And you wouldn't have to prove it. Okay? Whenever we're running around trying to prove some shit, we're actually going further away from the path. All right? I'm going to get one last deck for y'all. Spirit. Hello. Let me just say one more thing about the time period for this reading. Right now, we are in the Lion's Gate portal. Started on the 26th. It runs to the 12th. The pinnacle of it is on the 8th, right? Plus, we have a supermoon. Right? I feel like, and this is the Aquarius full moon in Leo. And like I said, it's the pinnacle of the chart. It's the highest point of the chart. I really feel like this energy that we're in, we're going to be dealing with this issue. Yes, there's going to be other transits moving in and out, but this is going to be until Aquarius season. Okay, so like the next 6 months, Spirit is saying, I'm getting tingling on the back of my neck. The next 6 months, it's about you proving the durability of the journey that you have built now, and how, you know, how and who you let permeate that energy, and if your opinion of your journey is more important than others. Okay, so let me just pull from this last deck and we up out of here. I'm not going to hold y'all. Spirit, can you show me? Powerful. Look at that. Okay, so and I don't feel like it's about the endurance. I actually feel like, remember when I was saying we're jumping off, and it depends on how we jump off is going to depend on how far we reach. Well, I feel like that's the jump. Okay, it's going to take us basically 6 months. Okay, Spirit, can you show me? Begin, right? And you guys had the Fool card twice. So this is a wrapping up, wrap it up, B, and a new beginning happening at the same time, right? Clear, right? Accept and ease. If you clear away the chatter of how people see you, how you think you're going to be received, of how, what other people might say about you if you'll be accepted. If you clear that away, okay? And you accept that what these people are doing is not really a reflection of you. Only how you respond to what they're doing. Only if you let it prevent you from reaching where you got to go. Only if you respond in reflexive energies that don't serve you well anymore and habits that you've broken, right? That's the only thing that can stop you, not them. So if you accept that clearing away the distractions, as she says, cut out the distractions, right? And accept that your journey is for you and that not anybody else has to agree with it. Look how quickly it happens. Ease. It becomes so much easier because you're walking in faith and in lightness. Do you see this? Okay? So don't spend your time ruminating on what was, what might be, how they're going to see it, what they're going to think. Fuck all that. Okay? Prepare yourself to take the leap of faith and to implement all the wisdom you've learned on the journey. Right. And you do it with ease, it starts to become fun, right? If you start implementing this without the concern of the responses, it's going to become a habit, all right? And maybe that's what Spirit's saying. That's going to take us the next 6 months, okay? But I feel like by the beginning of 2024, it's a whole new ball game, okay? So I just want to say thank you guys for spending a little time with me, all right? Yes, I'll be back on Thursday. I'll still put up videos, but I'll be back up on Thursday to do the weekend energy for you guys. Okay, I'm just wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings, guys. Bye.